Segundo o cientista Paul Zé, a resposta é sim. Paul, que é um especialista em neurociência e no estudo dos movimentos do corpo humano, afirma que qualquer pessoa que treine durante 15 a 18 anos várias modalidades esportivas poderia chegar ao mesmo nível de Bruce Wayne, que depende apenas de seu porte físico e não de poderes sobrenaturais. Essa teoria vai estar no livro Becoming Batman, The Possibility of a Superhero. O médico apenas faz questão de falar que mesmo com todo o treinamento, seria improvável que alguém vencesse uma luta contra 10 inimigos, como sempre acontece nas aventuras do Homem-Morcego.
And here we go.
On this week's Making the Movie, summer gets serious and a whole lot darker as Batman takes on the pasty-faced freak that is the Joker in the follow-up to 2005's Batman Begins. Join Christian Bale, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Aaron Eckhart, Gary Oldman and director Christopher Nolan as they bring us the exclusive lowdown on The Dark Knight.
It's simple. Kill the Batman.
Here we go! Fed up with the mundane sequels and superhero retreads that Hollywood has served up so far this summer? No! Well, ripping into that blanket of bland is The Dark Knight, reuniting Christian Bale with director Christopher Nolan, who returned to a crime-ridden Gotham City.
This town deserves a better classic.
Coming up over the next 30 minutes, Christian Bale reveals the comforts of the redesigned Batsuit.
The new Batsuit was so much more comfortable, so much more advanced than the first one. There's like 110 parts to this one. There were 3 to the original.
Gary Oldman on the desire to work with his director.
If you're going to work, then work for Chris Nolan.
And Maggie Gyllenhaal on the pressure of being in this summer's most anticipated movie.
Well, hello, beautiful. You look nervous.
There's this shocking amount of scrutiny, you know, that comes with being in a movie like this that's scary.
But first, after the success of bringing Batman back as a relatable hero in Batman Begins, director Chris Nolan faced the monumental task of creating a sequel to what is regarded as one of the best comic book movies of all time.
I was a little unwilling to do a sequel. I was a little worried about doing a sequel because we'd taken a lot of risks with Batman Begins. We'd done something we felt was quite different and got away with it. People seemed to like it. So there is a part of you that thinks, well, why roll those dice again? But ultimately, you want every film to be a challenge, and the challenge of making a sequel, something I'd never done before, the challenge of trying to build on what we'd done and do something better, you know, that started to appeal to me.
And that appealing nature spilled over to his returning leading man.
I knew with Chris that he wouldn't bother making a sequel if it wasn't going to surpass and improve upon the first one. With the success with Batman Begins, we had that extra confidence in that for this second one, The Dark Knight, that we could push it further and that we could create what people call, you know, a blockbuster movie. Has all the spectacle of that, has the stunts, the explosions and everything. But, you know, none of that means anything if you don't have a great story.
Striking out from the story of the first movie, we meet a very different Bruce Wayne and Batman this time around.
People are dying, Alfred. What would you have me do?
Endure, Master Wayne. Take it. They'll hate you for it, but that's the point of Batman. He can be the outcast. He can make the choice that no one else can make. The right choice.
In the original, we saw somebody who was trying to attain the power to enact good. He still has the same conflicts within himself, you know, of the demonic side, the shadow side, and he strikes fear, and he uses his own fear against his opponents. He has a propensity for violence. He has a great deal of rage. It's something which he uses and channels into this creature of the Batman that he creates, but also something that he has to really rein in because he wants to stay true to the altruism that his parents had, and he wants to effect change for the good.
Unshackled from the origins, Nolan has added Aaron Eckhart's district attorney Harvey Dent.
I knew the risk when I took this job, Lieutenant.
Maggie Gyllenhaal takes over as love interest Rachel Dawes.
You can't ask me to wait for that.
And Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman and Gary Oldman's good cop Lieutenant James Gordon all return. But it's the arrival of one of cinema's most iconic villains that raises the stakes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
The Joker is bent on holding up a mirror to Gotham society and showing us hypocrisy. Is uncompromising. You know, he deals in chaos and anarchy and destruction, and that's it. And that's all that he wishes for, even if that means his own self-destruction.
Now there's a Batman.
How do you beat somebody who is happy for themselves to die?
Oh, you want to play? Come on.
I really just got hooked by the notion of wanting to see the Joker in this telling, in this environment. The tease at the end of Batman Begins, which we really only had there, you know, as an exciting thing for the end of that movie.
Here's my card.
I got hooked by that tease, that notion of, okay, we've established a more real telling of Batman's story, a grittier, you know, more real-world view of it. Who would the Joker be in that?
So what are you proposing?
It's simple. Kill the Batman.
And donning the legendary makeup was Heath Ledger, who died earlier this year at just 28, and for whom the Joker represents his last completed work.
I met with Heath, and we were very much on the same page in terms of what it would need to be. It had to be very different from what had been done before. It had to be less comedic. It had to be threatening, genuinely frightening.
No!
And it had to be based on the reality of a force of pure anarchy. Somebody who stands purely for chaos, somebody who simply wants to tear down the world around him. Heath completely got that and had this quality of fearlessness. He could do it, he knew he could do it, and sort of told me as much, and that was enough for me.
While the Joker wreaks chaos and fear, Bruce Wayne is seeking as normal life as possible, but finds himself needed more than ever as Batman, who alongside Harvey Dent and Lieutenant Gordon form an allegiance in order to fight crime in Gotham City.
If I get him to you, can you get him to talk? I'll get him to sing.
In this one, what we have is somebody who is looking for a way out. He doesn't want to be Batman forever. The more time he spends on the Batman creature, the more that Bruce Wayne's life suffers.
Know your limits, Master Wayne.
Batman has no limits.
Well, you do, sir.
Well, can't afford to know him.
And what's going to happen on the day that you find out?
We all know how much you like to say, I told you so.
On that day, Master Wayne, even I won't want to. Probably.
He's looking to somebody to help him get out of this, and he sees that potential in Harvey Dent.
We're going after the mob's life savings. Things will get ugly.
I knew the risk when I took this job, Lieutenant. Gotham City is in the midst of a huge crime wave. The citizenry is afraid to go out in the streets. Harvey Dent is basically the man who is going to stand up and fight crime in Gotham City.
They're all going to come after you now, and not just the mob. Politicians, journalists, cops, anyone whose wallet's about to get lighter. Are you up to it?
They call him the White Knight, you know, Batman being the Dark Knight. So he works with Lieutenant Gordon and law enforcement to, you know, clean up the mob.
We've been happy to let the Batman clean up our streets for us until now.
Things are worse than ever!
Yes, they are. The night is darkest just before the dawn.
But the problem is that Batman has created an environment which is attracting freaks to the city. The ultimate freak being Heath Ledger's Joker.
And here we go.
Who is a man just bent on destruction and is a formidable foe because there is nothing that you can use to leverage him.
Well, hello, beautiful. You look nervous.
And he pushes Batman's buttons and attempts to show that even Batman, who is uncompromising, will break his own code of ethics, which is his one rule, that he will not kill.
I've seen now what have to become to stop men like him.
Oh yeah, we don't know how to police a villain like this. I mean, it's just total mayhem.
Come on!
He'll rob the bank, steal the money, burn the money. Because he doesn't want the money. How do you police a villain like that?
This town deserves a better class of criminal. And I'm gonna give it to them. Tell your men they work for me now. This is my city.
Come on, brother. I'm afraid.
Why don't we cut you up into little pieces and feed you to your pooches? And then we'll see how loyal a hungry dog really is. It's not about money. It's about sending a message.
The great thing about what Chris has done with all these characters, he's intertwined everybody and then strung them together with this magnificent performance by Heath playing the Joker. So he's pushing the action forward. He is the menace of Gotham City, and we have to come together as a group in order to fight him. That's basically Batman in a nutshell.
And that sets the scene for part 2, where after the break, we meet Maggie Gyllenhaal, who steps into the shoes of Rachel Dawes.
I went in thinking, I have to make sure she stays really smart, I have to make sure she's tough.
Chris Nolan on the admiration for his leading man.
Christian's challenge in this film was really greater than it was in the first film.
And Christian Bale reveals how the new Batsuit made crime fighting easier.
I could do all of the fight sequences myself. It wasn't as tiring. It's better in every way.
Welcome back to part 2 of making the movie The Dark Knight. Coming up, Chris Nolan on the admiration for his leading man.
Christian's challenge in this film was really greater than it was in the first film.
And Christian Bale reveals how the new Batsuit made crime fighting easier.
I could do all of the fight sequences myself. It wasn't as tiring. It's better in every way.
But first, taking over from Katie Holmes in the role of Rachel Dawes is Maggie Gyllenhaal, who took the part before the script was finished.
Well, hello, beautiful. You look nervous.
Chris said to me when he gave me the script, he said, she's not quite finished yet. And I knew that he really wanted her to be great, like a great woman with a mind who was feisty and, you know, full of life. And when I knew that, I thought, okay, I really do want to do this, you know.
Involved both professionally and romantically with Harvey Dent, Rachel, who retains feelings for Bruce Wayne, is torn between the two crime fighters.
I think she is really in love with Bruce Wayne. And I also think she is really in love with Harvey Dent.
You're Alfred, right?
That's right, sir.
Any psychotic ex-boyfriends I should be aware of?
Oh, you have no idea.
And I decided that the one really important thing was that she had to really love and desire them both equally. Because then she's in a real predicament. But the fact that they're trying to kill you means we're getting to them.
Why, you're so pleased, Rachel. I'm fine, by the way.
Come on, Harvey, you're Gotham's DA. You're not getting shot at. You're not doing your job right. You know, you said you were rattled. You could take the rest of the way out.
Well, obviously, you know, that side of his life is suffering because of his commitment to the Batman.
The things have been proved. Look at the new district attorney.
I am. Closely. Need to know if he can be trusted. Bruce Wayne really has three very identifiable split personalities. You know, he has the very private Bruce Wayne who really only Alfred and Rachel ever get to see. He's really quite a lonely individual. That's the true side.
Are you interested in his character or his social circle?
Who Rachel spends her time with is her business.
You have the Batman, who is, you know, the creature he creates to channel his rage and his violence. And then you have the real mask, which is the public persona of Bruce Wayne, the playboy billionaire.
Rachel, fancy that.
Yeah, Bruce. Fancy that.
Rachel Natasha, Natasha Rachel.
Natasha, are you the prima
ballerina for the Moscow Ballet.
Wow. Harvey's taking me next week.
Really? So, you're into ballet?
Bruce, this is Harvey Dent.
The famous Bruce Wayne. Rachel's told me everything about you.
I certainly hope not. So, let's put a couple tables together.
I'm not sure that they'll let us.
Oh, they should. I own the place.
Rachel, she has dueling affections, and she's not sure where she stands in her love and what she's forced to do because of her admiration for Batman and for Harvey Dent, and it's just very complicated.
Harvey may not know you well enough to understand when you're making fun of him, but I do.
No, I meant every word. You know that day that you once told me about when Gotham would no longer need Batman? It's coming.
You can't ask me to wait for that.
It's happening now. Harvey is that hero. He locked up half of the city's criminals, and he did it without wearing a mask. Gotham needs a hero with a face.
You throw a party, Wayne, I'll give you that. Thanks again. You mind if I borrow Rachel?
Questioning the choices he's made and living a double life, the challenge for Christian Bale in portraying the same character required a more internal process second time around.
I didn't have the same physical leap that had to be made for the first one. And also we, you know, in the evolution of the bat suit itself, we kind of leaned it down.
Well, I must say, compared to your usual requests, jumping out of an airplane is pretty straightforward.
And what about getting back into the plane?
I'd recommend a good travel agent.
Without it landing.
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
The new bat suit was so much more comfortable, so much more advanced than the first one. There's like 110 parts to this one. There were 3 to the original. You know, on a personal level, I can take the cowl off by myself before it took 15 minutes and 3 people attacking me with bolts and pliers and things. It's better in every way. And also in keeping with the realism that we're attempting to achieve. It was more akin to images that the military have come up with of future soldier gear. We use this KC fighting method as the martial art that Batman uses. With the first one, I actually was having to fight against the suit to achieve that. With this one, it was compatible with it. So I could do all of the fight sequences myself. It wasn't as tiring. It's better in every way.
Christian's challenge in this film was, I think, really greater than it was in the first film.
People are dying, Alfred. What would you have me do?
Endure, Master Wayne. Take it. They'll hate you for it, but that's the point of Batman. He can be the outcast. He can make the choice that no one else can make. The right choice.
He's competing with more characters this time. There is this problem with expanding a sequel, which is you do wind up putting more and more characterizations in there. You wind up expanding the story in all directions. And so he has to keep the film anchored. He has to keep Batman at the heart of the film.
Today I found out what Batman can't do. He can't endure this.
Just as effective in his role was Chris Nolan, who is the man in charge, left his cast gushing with praise for how he crafted one of the most anticipated sequels of 2008.
I think the job of the director on set is to be the representative for the audience on set. That's really the way you have to think of the job. That's really how you have to visualize what it is you're shooting. Whatever the scale of the film, you have to not really be paying attention to the physical reality of the production method that's going on around you. You have to be able to screen all that out and develop a kind of tunnel vision and really just look at what's going to be in the frame and how that's going to advance the story for the audience.
I will always want to make a movie with Chris. I think he's one of the finest filmmakers out there. It would have felt very strange and unnatural to be making this movie with anybody else.
I want a floor-by-floor search of the entire building.
I've never seen him get angry, and I've never seen him raise his voice. You just feel very safe and comfortable with him.
He always has an answer. He's always calm. He doesn't overshoot. He doesn't tire his crew and his actors out. When he has what he needs, we move on.
He will watch a take and say, yeah, it's very good. Thanks a lot. See you later. Moving on.
And that takes a lot of confidence. And Chris has it.
And there's other people that are screaming around you, and you've got, you know, the Oliver Stone that just wants to mind you, and all, you know what I mean.
There's no room for anything else. You have to come to work absolutely prepared and inspired. You know, you have to be there ready to go. In a way, that's very calming. And on the other hand, there's this shocking amount of scrutiny, you know, that comes with being in a movie like this. That's scary.
You feel a huge sense of nervous anticipation about getting the film out there. I think we feel very confident that we made the film that we thought it was a good idea to make at the time we started to make it. It's now for the audience to decide whether we were right about that. And that's an exciting time, but also it's definitely frightening.
Well, hello, beautiful. You look nervous.
And so, Having raised the bar for all comic book movies to follow, the only remaining question is, will The Dark Knight return for a third installment in this reinvigorated franchise?
Absolutely, if Chris is willing. That's the person to ask. You know, it's all up to him.
I really have no idea whether I would do another Batman film. I didn't think I would do a second one when I was doing the first one. It was really down to story elements that I really wanted to pursue. So I would never say never, but the truth is, you know, we haven't held anything back for another movie. This is a very definitive version of Batman, I think.
Now there's a Batman.
We tried to really make it as complete as it could be.